Well, hello everybody, this is Dear Mama Sal, and it's Monday. Now normally a Monday vlog comes in the car, but owing to the fact that this is a public holiday here in Canada, it's our Thanksgiving weekend, and happy Thanksgiving to all the Canadians. Hope you had a great one. I thought I'd do just a quick update and make sure you got a video, even if it wasn't a full-length one. So the first thing that I wanted to do is to give you some updates. The really great news this week was that Madame Robot came onto the broadcast yesterday. And what she did was she told us that, and for those of you who remember, she's been going through some pretty intensive radiation treatment for cancer, breast cancer. And I'm delighted to report that she told us that she has just had some tests done and she's cancer-free and does not need to go back and have tests done again for another 6 months. So yay. Absolutely wonderful news, Madam Robot, and I just hope that the news continues to be that good. One of the things I said to her is, you make sure you enjoy the next 6 months, because none of us ever know, right, whether we will have another 6 months. So that's part of what I wanted to talk to you a bit about today, which is, if you knew you only had 6 months left to go, what would you do about it? And how would you enjoy it? And so it's a great idea to balance your life out, to enjoy as well as live, or survive in some cases. Some of you know that one, right? Okay, and the next thing is that on the broadcast this weekend, I guess the subject that came up quite a bit was, are you a friend or an enabler? And there was quite a bit of discussion about that, because sometimes in our wish to support somebody, we end up enabling them instead of holding them able. And that's why it's called an enabler, which means you're holding them unable to be able to do their own stuff. And so what I thought I would do, and I hoped it would start the discussion going and hopefully help some of you understand the difference, is I did a little mini quiz. No pass and fail, it's totally anonymous. But it might start you off on this journey of understanding how to be a friend as opposed to somebody who's a fixer. And I think when you talk to people, one thing they really hate is somebody who knows it all and somebody who wants to fix it all. What most people want is somebody that they can talk stuff through with and sort of get rational, because overwhelm is a terrible thing. And so that'll be sort of the topic of this week, is how do we get ourselves out of overwhelm. And the first one is to understand what to do as a friend if you have a friend who's in overwhelm. And I will do everything I can this week to put up some nice links on Facebook and Twitter to give you more ideas. And by the way, if you've got any friends that are in overwhelm or any friends that are just really struggling at this time, please feel free to sort of point them in our direction so that we can give them the benefit of this week's topic. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was we had an incredibly brave young lady come on, and we're going to call her Kitty Cat. And she came on to talk with us on the broadcast. Her boyfriend committed suicide just 3 days ago. Well, it would have been 4 or 5 now, but she came onto the broadcast, and I was wondering how many people would do that. And we have to thank Paul in Britain for bringing her into the broadcasts and giving her that opportunity. Paul, that was a very generous thing that you did for another human being. And Kitty Cat, if you happen to be watching this one, I want to tell you how incredibly impressed I was with your strength of character to actually want to do something and understand more about it. And I know from talking to you that you've had a great deal of loss in your life. And the fact that you would come on is wonderful. And I know that because of that, you will inspire a lot of other people to cope with their loss and get on with their life. The other subject that came up a great deal this weekend was I'm in a funk. How do I get out of it? That was a topic that came up from a couple of people. And I want to tell you that this is definitely a subject I understand. You can probably imagine having been out of commission for over a week, that I was in some funk. I hadn't had any Dear Mama Sal fun. I hadn't done anything except lie in bed and being unable basically to function very well, other than, turn the news on and listen to it. It was really a tough week for me. So one of the things that I really believe is you will never really think your way out of a funk. You have to do your way out. I've always said that. To me, it's like if you want to feel better, you have to change what you're doing. Lying around all day long watching YouTube or watching television is not going to make you feel better, because it's not triggering the right things. I know none of us wants to get out and have a walk, for example. But just to give you some idea, I've just been out and I did 20 minutes for the first time since I got sick. 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back. That's not the end of the world. And by the way, it was raining and the wind was blowing. So on the way out, it was wonderful. The wind was at my back and it was pushing me all the way. And then I turned around. Not quite as much fun. But it's amazing how low I can actually put my head. And the one thing I really didn't realize, and I know that you guys all know it, and I just didn't, is how incredibly waterproof sweats are. I've got good quality sweats, and they really, that water just ran right off them. So that's one thing. Get out and do something. The other thing I always say is do something creative. Even if you can't get out of the house, if you don't feel you can get out of the house, do something creative. Or do something useful. For example, part of my trying to get myself back into thinking mode, what I've done is I've cleared two cupboards in my two shelves in my pantry, which was very creative because it required that I put it all back in a better way than it was originally. And actually, I quite enjoyed doing that. I also got a sense of accomplishment from doing it. Make sense? That's a good thing. That gives you mojo juice. Going out walking gets my adrenaline going and gets endorphins going. So I came back feeling quite good. So it gets me out of the instant overwhelm. So I encourage you all to just have a look at the ways that you get out of a funk and maybe add them in here so that people can get some other ideas. We'll be talking about it all week, along with how to cope with overwhelm. And so hopefully between the two, we'll have a pretty positive week. And I certainly will enjoy being there for it. I'm off to go and cook some dinner now. It's going to be my family dinner night tonight. I'm not doing Thanksgiving dinner because we're waiting for for Dougie to come home. He's busy working away from home at the moment. So hopefully we will get to do that next weekend and we'll have a fun dinner then. So in the meantime, big hugs to you all. And by the way, this is the new computer that we're recording this on. So I just wanted to see what the quality was. Let me know if the quality is okay for you guys. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, well done. Thank you for, oh, by the way, thank you all for being there when I got back. One of my greatest fears was I would be away for 10 days or whatever it was, 9 days, and that nobody would be there when I returned. I know, it's stupid, but it is the truth. This is Dear Mama Sal saying big hugs. And don't forget to share with people who may need some uplifting wit and wisdom. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now.